Hello guys, and welcome to a new video on my channel Practical Astrology for You, which is all about sharing my passion and profession with you. Today's topic is Hollywood actress Kate Bosworth, whose separation from her husband of 8 years was officially announced yesterday. That was quite a surprise. Let's have a look at Kate's stars. Um, I know quite a bit of background information already because I had been following her for a while, a couple of years ago. So I know a little bit about the background of her relationship and also previous relationships, actually, because she's actually always been in very serious long-term relationships, and you can see that um, looking at her descendant in Capricorn. So Saturn rules her seventh house, the planet of stability and long-term um, situations. And also Venus is right on the ascendant, also in Capricorn, and of course a Capricorn sun as well. She also has her moon in Virgo in a sextile to Saturn. So all of this speaks of very strong inclination to long-term bonds, emotional bonds, long-term commitments. Yeah, all of this screams long-term commitment and seriousness. So it's all earth energy, and Saturn just says, "Yep, I'm signing here for the long term. So I'm not out of it unless something is really seriously wrong." that kind of vibe. So Kate had been married to her husband, director Michael Polish, who is a Scorpio, I believe. She'd been married to him for 8 years. I still remember the report on a marriage that was September 2013, I believe. So yeah, it's been 8 years, and they met about 10 years ago. And I know that Kate said about um, the moment, literally the moment that they met, or where they really became aware of each other. It was really like this like soulmate kind of vibe. So it was almost like she was in front of the camera, he was behind the camera. That's how they met on the movie set. And it was just the most incredible feeling for her, because she said she had only just met him, and already it felt like she had known him for her whole life. So they two got and he actually felt the exact same. And they got involved in a serious relationship pretty quickly after that. And yeah, so they had been together for 10 years. So what the hell happened? Kate made quite a long statement, quite a poetic and statement, I think, on her Instagram. And she's such a smart and intelligent woman. I've always admired that about her. She's really perceptive, and she's well spoken. She's very smart. She also said about herself, "Oh yeah, I'm a Capricorn. I tend to be a bit tough on myself, or like often tend to be tough on myself." So she's got a good degree of self-awareness, and she knows a little bit about her sign as well. And she seems to be quite aware of what that means in terms of her nature. So that was a good read. It was actually quite poetic, and she described quite well her emotions what she's going through at the present time. And we're going to have a look at the constellations now. And not surprisingly, this is a different kind of separation. So this is not like two people, having been um, at odds for a long time, in terms of like, no like fighting or really nasty things going on, like you've done this to me, you've done that to me, or you've been unfaithful, or blah 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 blah. None of that, I think, plays a major role, and we will see why. So but first of all, we can see, I'm going to put the transit chart on now. I think just need to click here, and then we get, yeah, so this is the current transit. um no, this is not the way we want it. We have to change inner outer wheel. Right, so now we've got Kate on the inside and the current constellations on the outside, right? So we just have to look here. Pluto, yeah, right on the descendant. So that means there is a huge transformation going on in her relationships. So that means one or even several of her relationships could be affected, because obviously it's not just her marriage, so she's also got other close bonds to friends and family, whoever. But apparently this specifically seems to apply to her marriage to Michael, that is going through a transformation here. So there's something really profound is changing. Also, Pluto has already reached Venus um, on the descendant. So this is really about the romantic and the love relationships in her life, right? So we can clearly see, like, when Pluto hits the descendant, that things will never be the same. And also Saturn has been in her seventh house for quite a while. We know that Saturn, along with Jupiter, moved into the sign of Aquarius in December last year. And so it was already, I had already crossed the descendant before that, so like about November. So that's probably the time when things got a bit like critical. It's like Saturn is always like, it's decision time. Something is coming to an ending here. Something needs to be really checked, revised. There's a lot of scrutiny. There's maybe a lot of uncomfortable stuff going on. Some things that are just not working anymore, they have to be brought up, they have to be addressed, and they have to be taken seriously, especially when Pluto and Saturn show up in this kind of double act here, seventh house related. Yeah. So we can see that something is just really fundamentally changing, probably also in the way that she views relationships, like on the side. But what I found really remarkable was what you can see in the background. That Jupiter's just moved back into Aquarius. Yeah, we can see it here. But Jupiter has also triggered the opposition here. He was in opposition to her natal moon at 2 degrees of Virgo. So that's normally not a time where you really um, where you would suspect someone is, really really suffering, going to something like a really big kind of heartbreak, some a substantial loss, or even bereavement, whatever. So there is it's almost like there is some there is some hope there. There is some continuation there. There is like a surge of feelings, but it's just a challenge, because the kind of feelings um, is not the same anymore, not the same as it used to be. And we can definitely see that when we look at Saturn. Kate's midheaven is at 13 degrees of Aries, midheaven 13 degrees of Aries, and Saturn has reached the exact sextile not too long ago. Yeah, it was at 13 and a half degrees, so it was an exact sextile, and Saturn rules the seventh house. So there's almost like, hang on, yeah, there is something kind of ending here, something cut off, something fundamentally changing, but at the same time there is a good energy of something still being like cemented, something still being solid, something like there is still like a bond there that has not been severed. There is a tie there that is continuing, that is still going strong, and that's quite amazing because um, what Kate wrote in her post, where she so beautifully summarized the current situation and the way she was feeling about it. Um, Fact is that they are no longer in a romantic relationship, but they still have such an intense, strong bond, so they will never truly be separated. They are already working on their next film project together. Yeah, so and this is amazing. So there is just something is fundamentally changing, but still this bond is so strong, and there is still a lot to accomplish for these two. So I think this must be a really beautiful feeling for Kate, and you could almost feel it. After reading this post, I really felt that she hadn't really lost anything. She was so grateful for like looking to the future. She was so grateful for all the experience that she was still going to have with this man, and their exchange, and they work together. And of course the midheaven is a symbol for a person's career, and the public role, and their profession. So I think it's quite fitting that Saturn, which rules the seventh house and is a symbol for her partner in her chart, is would sextile her midheaven, indicating that this relationship will continue, but just on a different level, and there's no hard feelings or anything. And she even along with that statement, she posted a gorgeous picture of the two of them just cuddling and like rubbing their noses together, and really you can almost feel it's just tangible, like the affection between these two, and it's just moving to another level, which is such an incredible expression of this Pluto on the descendant and Saturn being in the seventh house at the same time. So it's almost like a transition to the next stage. And when Jupiter um, went in opposition to the moon, this is what I just described as feeling so grateful and hopeful, because there would not be that kind of disruption, like when you normally think of a couple, romantic couple, or two lovers separating, spouses separating, and it's just all about sadness and loss, or anger and hurt and pain and resentment, and you can't really see this. It's just moving to another level, and I found this really, really remarkable. So her first and seventh house rulers, they have quite a few triggers there, and obviously Jupiter will again be in opposition to the moon, and of course also in trine to Saturn when it moves back into Pisces. That will probably be about May, June of next year. Yeah. Um, so no, sorry, of course not May, June of next year. That will be sooner. That will be sooner. We'll move into Pisces in December. So early January. Sorry, I was my thoughts were already with jumping forward to Jupiter in Aries, which is something I personally am looking forward to because I am an Aries, and I could do with a little bit of extra boost. Yes. Okay, so yeah, I thought it was really. I just wanted to talk about this because it's quite remarkable. Because normally when you think like, oh wow, there's Pluto on the descendant and on top of Venus, and Saturn is in the seventh. Oh, this is not ending well. Yeah, but this is ending, but it's really ending well, because it's just an ending that transforms into something else. And also, the Saturn is always such a great symbol of respect and support, and it's just so obvious that these two will just continue to not just to work together, but really to care for one another and to um, have each other's back and just to support each other and take an interest in each other's lives as they move forward. um, so I think this is something quite remarkable, and I think they made a good decision there, and you can really see that it's she's it was basically almost a happy post, because it was not about a painful loss or something. It was just full of love, really, still full of love for this person and respect. And yeah, I just found this quite remarkable. I hope you found it just as interesting as I do. Please let me know your comments. Leave me a like, and hit the subscribe button if you haven't already. I look forward to seeing you on the next video. Bye bye.